Need approval of the agenda. Any additions?
Yeah, I was notified that, we need to add under, new business, Kim Circle and /culverts. So otherwise, it should be, unless anybody has anything else.
Okay. Have a motion to approve the agenda.
I so moved.
Changes.
I'll second that again. In favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes from July 9th meeting.
Looking all right, so move we approve it.
Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All righty, treasurer's report, Kevin.
Okay, we started out July 1st at 163,258. Usually in July, we don't get very much. As you see, we got in 40,000 in there, 4,800 in alcohol reversion. They had a CD that came in, so we had 3,556 in interest. As you can see, when we budgeted there a couple of years ago, and the interest rates are higher, you can see that we definitely are doing good on interest, overall in interest. So if you look at our expenditures though, we had quite a bit going on. Payroll is 14,455, and then road materials, we had 159,717 in road materials. When we did all the gravel, had all the gravel in there and stuff, and then all of a sudden the flooding came in there, and then so we had to redo that. So some of that hopefully is going to get charged back to FEMA. We'll talk about that later and stuff in there, but 159,717, and it's all in gravel. Professional fees, 849, equipment vehicle 4580, repairs, and you can see, just go down the line, each of these is 250 there in there. So we had $136,000 we dropped down. That CD that I talked about there is, I took it out of the CD and put it into the general fund because we knew we had dust control and stuff coming. And so our ending balance was 229,073. One thing to note is that when we get the bills, I'm going to need to cash out another CD that with the bills and stuff in there, like 247,000 in expenditures. So I don't have enough in there, but that's where we're setting right now. Unless there's questions.
Kevin, how come? Never mind. I answered it myself.
I move to accept the bills as read.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report, and I'll second. Anything else? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to old business. 264th Street, DG&R Engineering.
And Craig said he's
Frank
back.
says that here.
I'm gonna let Sophie with CCOG is here. I'm gonna let her kind of go through some history of that.
Hi everyone, Sophie Johnson with the Southeastern Council of Governments. We're a planning and development district in Sioux Falls. We help local governments apply for grants and loans. And just wanted to bring everyone up to date. You guys are actually probably even more in the know than I am about the subject. But it sounds like in 2018, 2019, you had some bad flooding that sort of washed out 264th Street to the point where you had to put up some barricades. In August of 23, so a year ago, I met with a couple folks on the town board to start an application with FEMA to look into reconstructing the road so that it could be reopened. So in September of 23, we went to Minnehaha County because the county actually has to do this, the fiscal sponsor for the application with FEMA, and they agreed to it. And we submitted the application to the South Dakota Office of Emergency Management by their December 1st, 2023 deadline. So then the South Dakota Office of Emergency Management, they took some time to review the application, and they requested some more materials that were due to them in May of this year. In June of '24, FEMA and the South Dakota Office of Emergency Management declined to fund the project. And I don't think they declined it because it was a bad application or because they're not interested in funding it. The application round that we applied for was a state competition. They only had, I want to say, about $1 million, and that's for every project in the state. This project, I think, was about half or 3/4 of that budget, so it was declined. But there's an upcoming, it's called BRIC, which stands for Building Resilient Infrastructure Communities, which is another FEMA competitive grant application. It's due November 27th, 2024. And so today, just wanted to talk about the project and think about maybe how we can set it up to be really successful in getting some funding. So I'll turn it over to Craig with DGR. He has an idea of how we can strengthen the application.
We've been out, I know myself's been out, I've been out there 2 or 3 different times, had a couple other people from our office out there as well. But we've been having some conversations with Wes Dickett. He works for Braun Intertech Corporation, and they specialize in slope stabilization. A lot of his background and experience has been in just that type of work, dealing with those type of failures. So kind of a specialty for him. We've had a few conversations with him about the project, kind of reviewed the site with him, and I guess in our line of thinking, talking with Jim Poppin with Office of Emergency Management, they typically like to see a little bit of a design or some thought process into what that fix would be. We had some conversations with Wes, and he thought they could put a report together, submit that report to us. We would help them with some cost estimates and get grant application stuff in with Sophie, probably in that $10,000 to $15,000 range to do a report, cost estimate, and get a little bit of a design where Jim Poppin and the guys at Emergency Management would probably take a little stronger look at doing something with this, having a little bit of information, knowing that there's a plan. So that'd be our recommendation, I guess, is to work with Braun Intertech and put something together for that grant application.
And just so everyone is aware, if you are awarded funding, there is a 15% match. So the FEMA puts in 75%, the state puts in 10%, and then the township would be responsible for 15% of the project.
Have you been out there here lately? Did this last flooding or whatever it is, was hurt it anymore, you think, or, you know, that's what one of the things that we were.
It took some of the top gravel off and stuff. That was down, that was there. So I think what we're gonna do is clean out some of the ditches where the gravel washed off the roads. At least use that gravel material, try to rebuild that road a little bit on top in case we get a fire in there, so a truck can get down in there to the fire and get back out. That's what we're planning on doing with some of the gravel that washed off the roads. Cause it's already been washed, so it's not much bottom material on it, but it's a good place to place it, so, and use it, you know.
Sure.
So are you looking for a commitment as far as that 10, 15,000 to
Yeah,
start it?
if you guys would be interested in us working with Braun Intertech and kind of proceed in that direction.
Did Poppin say that it would really help it then and stuff in there, because it seems like we've been kind of bottlenecked with him and stuff in there, but by doing this here, it's gonna help it quite a bit, or is?
Yeah, he typically likes to see 25 or 30% design, and I think working with Wes, if he prepared a report, we could work with him to put some details and kind of a conceptual plan together to submit with the grant. And we could get something put together with Wes and bring that to your next, prepare something and bring it to your next meeting.
Why don't we do that? That sounds like a good idea. Do that.
Because we need to kind of be prepared for it though. Because we're gonna, the question is, if we get it more designed, how much will it increase our chances? You know, that's right now, we've been kind of denied, but I read the deal last time is that, yeah, there wasn't very much money in there. When we got it denied initially, there was a lot more money, and this last time there was less money. So the question is that there's been some more flooding. Flooding will be, there's a possibility there'll be more money coming in too.
And I think another thing to think about is, as Craig said, this is this gentleman's specialty, so there are other ways to do it, but, there's still likelihood it's gonna get washed out again, so you could spend a lot of money and do it right, or you could spend some money and do it so that it would be okay for a couple more years, and, nothing's guaranteed that it won't happen again, but, this is sort of his proprietary, system for addressing these issues.
Okay, any more discussion on 264th Street? Okay, we'll move on to number 2. Recap of Hidden Valley slurry deal. We have a gentleman here.
Ryan, you want to give
Sure.
kind of what your plans are there?
My name's Ryan Folsom. I'm with Ascom with a seal. I know that since Travis was here, that they spent about a week and a half going back through hand mixing the emulsion mix, and there was some what I call track marks or whatever from some of the squeegee, and fixing some of the anomalies on the road, and getting that done first. I know there's been some questions about some of the ends of the drives, and I talked with Travis about that because there was some anxiety about communication last time, trying to get everybody in and say, hey, can we come in here on these days? Because we just don't want to just all of a sudden maybe this person or their driveway is shut down, or they find it shut down. We want to make sure that we come in at a certain time and say, hey, can we get these ends of these driveways and get that done? That's next on the docket. We're watching, just seeing how some of the touch-ups and things have blended in, and continually driving the roads. And I'm here tonight to take some feedback and go from there.
So,
Yes.
do you consider yourself done as far as the repair work, patchwork, not speaking to the ends of the driveways?
Okay.
But do you guys consider yourself done at this point?
The paving is done.
On Hidden Valley Road, from the
Okay.
cul-de-sac west up to the court curb, you're done with that?
They have come up with, through there with the
Buckets
emulsion.
of tar that they threw down all the way up, 2 tracks of buckets of tar and squeegeeing it out. I left some photographs with,
Okay.
Are you happy with the work?
Well, I think Travis communicated that aesthetically that there was, there were some problems, so
crap.
they wanted to go back. I understand, I'm here to,
Have you looked at it?
I drove through this morning.
Wow. Okay, it's an overcast day. When the sun shines on it, it changes it dramatically.
Okay, I actually even brought that up in discussions this morning. I said, when I'm looking at it, it changes too, it's darker out. I understand.
So you find that road acceptable? Would you use
From-
that as advertisement to advertise your quality of work?
I understand Travis was here already, and that he said this is not, they want to go through this process of fixing the tracks and things with the emulsion. Nobody came out and said, hey, that's exactly how we want that to turn out, but it is a wear surface. All right, and it does wear. And I drove the roads and I checked for the types of equipment that's being driven on it. There's nothing tearing up. There's nothing, bad about the functionality of it. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you that I don't like, I'm like to see that smooth black look too.
Yep, all the way across the road. Not,
Yeah.
not tracks going down.
It looks like a road that needs to be resurfaced. It's like a house that someone painted and used different age of paints. And I think anybody that lives on that road, if you were paying.
And this is a hidden valley.
The
Hidden Valley.
Road, down the
And
Hidden
if you
Valley.
talk
Your
about-
guys' area is the
The
worst.
worst.
It's the worst.
And if you talk about anomalies, I
It
guarantee
looks like
you
a
can go out there right now and draw a 30-foot circle, and I'll show you every anomaly.
Ryan, did you happen to see the video that he took after the rain? I mean, the standing.
Well,
I've seen, taking pictures back.
There's like a gutter going down the south side of the road with water.
In front of our house.
And then when you get down to where the mailboxes are, just before the cul-de-sac, there's a big pool of water. And I'm just
So you're
thinking,
suggesting that it changed the drainage?
Well,
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the,
so our roads were perfectly crowned,
yeah,
and now they're not.
perfectly fine.
Not all of the roads are counted up there. Some of them.
The ones that ASCO did the first time were not, the first three phases.
I can't speak to that.
I was thinking it started to run. So I'm Daryl Vandrich,
Sure.
but, so I think the situation is, we know what happened. It was not done well to start, and then it was hard to fix what you already started. If you just been trying to Band-Aid it. And I don't know what else you could do. It probably, the problem is, what is it gonna look like down the road with all the potential standing water? That is the number one thing. Aesthetically, the color will smooth out all that stuff. But it is extremely rough compared to what we had. Is it protecting the road? I think it probably has an inverse effect if that water is standing. You know that. I mean, it's time, it's sun, it's water. Those things
Well,
affect asphalt.
Inconsistencies, anomalies is what you call it. There is a ton of them.
I'm also
Raised
concerned
areas,
about,
cracks.
the snow grader coming through and the unevenness of the patching work. Are they gonna, some of that gonna peel off with the grader? I mean, they come through there and everything happens down at the end of our driveway.
Blades will always.
Will it
worse
peel
if
off?
it will not peel.
Because it's not even, it's not
No.
level, because water sits in there after it rains. And our sprinkler system sprinkles a little bit onto the road, so we see it 3 times a week.
Usually, I mean, like a lot of these roads that you see, it starts to look like the old chip seal roads, and that's what it is. And the actual blades hitting on it and everything are gonna scuff it up just like it would a regular road. We don't expect that there's gonna be this massive peeling of.
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
material.
concerned
That's why
about.
I was checking it, when I sometimes I'm looking at it from a different angle too. Little mini excavators down there, you have skid steers running down there, some heavier trucks and all that turning on it. Some concerns I would have with that if I saw that actually still stuff was ripping or something, which would mean it was a material issue. What we're having is a cosmetic issue, not a functional.
So is this a warranted work for 10 years? Is this something that would be in the budget 10 years from now? I mean,
It'd always be in the budget, but it's not a 10-year warranty on
there's
it.
no warranty on it, so
Not a 10-year warranty.
like all these patches, you've already paid for 3/4 of this, is that correct? And you've inspected it,
Yes, we have.
and how do
And
you
we're
feel
the
about it?
same thing. I mean, when they did it, it wasn't the best job, but it was covered. And then they come back and try to fill in the low spots,
Mhm.
which you see some of these roads you drive, they got the wheel tracks are lower than the sides. So they fill in the wheel tracks, just trying to smooth it out. But that will protect that road.
Yes.
And our goal was to make sure that your road, your blacktop, hangs in there for a long time.
Right.
And that's why we're trying to do the maintenance on it.
But you also expected it to look better.
Huh?
You expected it to look like it was
I'd like to see it look better.
Professional
a
job.
professional
Yeah.
job. If it was in front of your
But-
house,
Yeah,
You would want a
Rich,
professional.
I was out in Custer and they did the same thing and it was absolutely beautiful. Okay, and I mean, it was the same product, okay, absolutely was beautiful. My concern too is the patchwork.
Yeah.
Okay, in front of my mailbox, I mean, I went out there the other day and it's 60 degrees, okay, and I put my footprint in it, okay? Every time I back up my camper, okay, I'm bringing tar onto my concrete, okay? Every time I drive my truck, I bring the surface into my garage. I got tar inside my garage now, and loose gravel. I mean,
Just watching down the road.
What was the root cause of this problem? Was it the piece of machinery that you did it with? Because I know they worked on it all weekend before you did that road. You
One
saw-
of your
Yeah, they
employees
were working
told
on
me
it Saturday, Sunday.
that you picked that piece of equipment up in Omaha from a company that you bought it from.
Well, yeah,
It
that
was
particular,
used equipment.
well, these machines are just produced overnight. So we have two machines.
They're what?
They're not produced overnight.
Well,
So they're
I
ordered
brought
over.
photographs of a machine that was set in a cul-de-sac, May 30th.
Yes.
They look like a disaster. They're foiled right up there. I just went out there, I'd never seen anything like that in my whole life, so I took photographs of them,
Okay.
and I made copies and left them here just a few minutes ago.
Of the machine.
Of those sheets.
Was that the root of the problem?
The machine?
The reason the road looked like it needed all these patches, what caused that?
Drag marks are caused by the clumping that was caught on the back of the primary and secondary.
Is it, I was
That's-
surprised.
it's their fault, they're experts.
There's
And
supposed to be-
temperature, ideally not. Temperature and things play a part. There's an additive mix.
Well, some of the employees really were generous with their comments,
And also it's true.
amazingly. And I talked to 3 or 4 different people, and they said that you were having problems with that piece of equipment.
You saw them work on it
Yeah,
all
I
weekend.
saw them working on it all weekend.
Yeah, there was an electrical fuse problem, and there's a special piece of equipment, so you need to get the part.
But yeah, and then they,
Initially, one of them said that there was a formula problem too, that
I
the fuel mixture was wrong, or the mixture was wrong. when they
That's
put it
programmed into a computer.
on. And they said that they had to start over with because they had the wrong formula.
Programmed it in wrong. It
And
comes
be
out.
careful about some of that, when they add emulsifiers or they take them out. If there's too much of it in the machine, it can break in the box, which would cause problems. And that's a thing from the oil, when we get that, and they have the different emulsification numbers in there, and we ask them to turn it down.
So
So,
wasn't the answer to redo it, and do it right? Wasn't that the answer versus to come out and patch every little hole and spend the guys with the buckets and now it's still inconsistent? I mean,
At least some areas, like
Yeah,
your
so-
guys' area
it's
really
horrible.
needs to be
Well,
redone.
Well, that's because they had a car left there, they told the car to park there. And then,
well, that's getting into part of the communication stuff. I'm not trying to frustrate people, but I can't come in here and say, oh, yeah, they want it. The solution last time was to go through and patch the roads and the tracking marks.
to my taste, it made it worse.
Yeah, it actually did.
It made it worse. It looks worse,
Looks
and aesthetics are
less
important
lovely.
too. I
How
mean,
will it affect
aesthetics
the
are
sale of
important.
my property?
What's that?
How will it affect the sale of my property? Really, curb appeal? There's no curb appeal there.
It looks like it needs to be repatched. It looks like you've been patching it to death.
It looks like a really, really old.
And we had some really hot weather since that's happened. We were told, and we went back and we watched. We were told that once you started driving on it, everything would be cool. Okay, we'll see how that works.
Mhm.
It hasn't worked.
Yeah.
It looks like that road has been patched and now needs to be redone. And it should look redone. And I'm wondering why we're paying for something that should look redone, and it looks like it's been patched. And I'm not happy about it. I don't think anybody up there, if they lived on the road, or at least where we do, I can't comment on everybody else's, wouldn't be happy with it either.
I spoke with the engineer out by Mitchell, and they had the same problem. And they made the contractor grade it up, bring it right down,
They milled it down then?
bring it right back up and redo it.
You have to mill it. I don't think you can break
I
that
don't
loose
know, I
without
don't know
milling
how they did it, but
Yeah.
they brought it right back up, because they were absolutely mortified as to what it
What
looked
was
like, the function of it.
what was the total cost of the project? You recall? I'm just the Hidden Valley part.
I'd have to look, I'll look it up in a second.
Yeah, I don't recall.
So the intent, and you just said it, was to protect the surface long term. If this doesn't hold up, and say 3 years from now, or 2 years from now, whatever, it has to be, redone, or fixed, or even, how big of a problem has it been? You're gonna have to mill it down and tear it all the way down to the base layer. Is it even salvageable? If this stuff starts breaking off, how do you repair that 2 years from now?
And what's the cost to us?
Because if it is, you have to grind it off and start over, then that's what they should be doing right now. We're not all engineers here, but I'm telling you, when you look at that stuff, I
You wouldn't
can't
want
see
it
how that's gonna
in
hold up.
your front yard. I mean, I don't think you would. Ours turned out pretty bad.
It's not laying down. We've had plenty of hot weather and ample opportunity for it to start laying down.
The discoloring is, that's coming from 2 different times, you know?
Yep, not.
You're gonna have that. You have something gets ready to ripe at this time, something gets ready to ripe at that time. That you can see,
I'm not talking about the.
but I know what you're saying.
The laying down of the product, the
Yeah.
smoothing it out. Okay, we're gonna go into fall and winter, it's certainly not gonna happen then.
We've had blades on streets in Sioux Falls, and they did the same thing. And then they haven't ever, that I've seen it, or been, I've been to the street department, and they've never peeled it up. So this stuff won't come off. Only time it comes off was when it's green, you know, it's not dried yet. But other than that, it usually stays right down, usually. I could be proven wrong, but I hope not.
I mean, we walk by, I recommend actually walking the neighborhood, especially their stretch. Because there's still spots that are showing through, the original, our base coat.
The original road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's showing through, and that's not a discoloration thing, that's, the base coat's still showing through.
The veneer is too thin.
Just Hidden Valley's portion was 96,000.
So Ryan Travis was supposed to, he emailed me and said that they were gonna go and walk and go drive through the whole thing. Never happened. He just started to work. He didn't, I mean, the fix, you know.
I back up the road, I've been gone.
Yeah, I mean, I know the situation, the rain and everything else, we feel for you, the situation, this is not something you want, but I know smarter heads, I should have stopped the presses because they started in my cul-de-sac. And it was so bad there, I just thought, I don't know what I'm looking at, so shut your pie hole. I should have got out there and said, stop right now, because there was something wrong and it continued for the whole project. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's not like we're trying to be dicks or anything else. It's just not.
It doesn't look like Iverson Crossing.
It's just not quality work.
And they did that.
And you sure don't see the walkers like you used to. I know I haven't walked
Yeah.
since.
We
My dogs.
other than our road starting to oxidize, it was 8 years old. Our road was really good and it really needed the type 1, not this slow. If you can't perform the slurry seal, they just needed a seal coat, I guess I would call it. Would it last as long? No, but nobody would be in a kerfuffle here. You know, it's taken our road back. I mean, I know it's probably protecting it in ways, but there, with all that standing water, I mean, I had enough parking lots to know not to do it.
Our road was beautiful. Before you showed up.
Perfect.
It was beautiful.
It was.
I'm serious. It was a consistent quality all the way everywhere. Into your driveway, the extension to the driveways, and it's beautiful. The contrast is overwhelming. Would you live there? Would you call that road satisfactory?
And we already acknowledged that the aesthetic is,
Okay,
I'm
so what
trying
are
to
you
do,
gonna
I'm
do about
just,
it?
you know,
What are you gonna do about it?
the first step
$12,000
was the
homeowner.
patching. And I have to, well, I mean,
I
I
got
have to take
videos-
some steps.
I got videos of those guys standing out there throwing their buckets down and a bunch of non-professionals with squeegeeing stuff off and then just running in different directions across the surface.
At a point, it's not all just willy-nilly. Trying to get it up to speed.
Is it the unemployment problem? You can't find good employees?
I'm not getting into that conversation.
Well, I think the
That's
bottom,
not, I mean, I'm really here in good faith to say, hey, I wanna help. You know, I'm hearing, right, the Hidden Valley portion especially, some of that, the patching, I acknowledge your point. I was looking out there on the overcast day. I even said, I don't know to look, under the bright sun. I'm gonna look at it again.
Yeah, in the bright sun, it's really kind of.
Okay,
You know what you need to do is after a rain also,
Yeah,
about an hour after a rain, and look at all the water where it's standing.
It's
Yeah.
Because
not
it's
level.
standing all over the place.
It should not be that way.
no.
It was never
It
that
should
way.
not.
I had pictures of the road before, post rain. I mean, kind of a comparison.
Roads should not
It would shed off just,
It looks like a rural road in Illinois.
yeah, I mean, it's-
That's what it looks like right now. I mean, it's not acceptable. There's two things, and you're agreeing with this, but we're waiting for the answer. It
Well,
doesn't look good, and we're worried about long-term durability.
and I've addressed the durability aspect of it. I did point out, see the types of equipment that's on it. I'll check. Certainly somebody had something, that there's some spots that, okay, for whatever reason, or
Are we gonna have something in writing to protect this? Because it's year one, and I'm already thinking, boy, when are we gonna redo this road? Looks horrible.
Nearly $12,000 per household out there for that job.
Talk is easy, but we need some assurances that we aren't coming back to this meeting like a bunch of whiny babies when we got 3 years out of a road.
Yeah,
We're not even happy with day one.
yeah.
One of the concerns, you repeated this about the equipment that goes on our roads or whatever, okay? But
Yeah, I
before
don't
this
know what that
happened,
means.
okay, there was different types of equipment, probably heavier than what it should be, okay? And the road wasn't damaged, okay? So
but I'm only
please
addressing the
don't-
surface course.
Please don't blame, these heavy trucks that are coming into our development, that it hurt this surface or whatever. I totally disagree. That surface looked like that before any garbage trucks or anything went on.
No, I think that was
on that
Travis that was saying that.
No, that was when probably the initial applications, before they figured out enough to, if you have a garbage truck or something that goes through it or rips up it.
That-
So
I
you
do
know,
have pictures of that.
do you know who, so I drive to Harrisburg every day to work. Who, it appears to me on like the 271st and those county roads there, they did a bunch of resurfacing.
Mhm.
Is that slurry seal?
That is type 3 slurry, yes.
That's 3 and then this was 2?
Forgive me, I gotta go back.
But anyway, I don't know who did that, because it looks great.
That's Aztec.
So I mean, obviously, I was kind of blaming the slurry seal that we got something we didn't need.
Mhm.
But obviously, their equipment works better than yours, or they know what they're doing, because it is really nice. And if our road looked like that, you would know it is.
Even old wagon trail looks better as you gaze in from the road, from the highway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Than what Hidden Valley does, and I can only speak for where I live, but I mean,
Oh,
something was
Yeah,
inconsistent.
your guys' is.
Something was really inconsistent. And I think it was that machinery that she saw it working all week.
We got photographs of the machine if you wanna look at them. Maybe you never saw it, I don't know, but, I got photographs taken on May 30th. That was when it started. It was a mess out in the cul-de-sac.
So what are the options for you to help us get what we feel that we're owed to make it look good and to have it durable? What are the options?
Okay, again, the durability, I'm not worried about that. The aesthetic part, I'm gonna go back and talk and say, hey, what are some of these things to get this blending a little better? I mean, I understand that. I really do. I mean, I'm looking at it, at someone and go, okay. Because I didn't want to get into this either where less is more. You get into that where the intent was to try to fix as many things as possible, but then you get this kind of uneven look too. So there again, I'm happy that they tried to address as many things as they could. And then, discuss the options with Travis about, the aesthetic part of it. I don't have a huge concern about the function part of it.
Even where the water stands, it may freeze and thaw and freeze and thaw.
My
Really?
understanding is I was hearing that people were feeling that was cracking. There was cracking and there was water getting into cracks and freezing thaw, which I do a lot of parking lots and things like that as well.
No. This is new. This is new
Yeah,
since
we
it
didn't have any
resurfaced.
spiders really in our parking, or our road before. So, I mean, I just think we're perfect because the
No,
water's going. So I don't know, the concern would be that it just has a negative effect long-term, and that's why we're addressing it now. Because it's not gonna do us any good to shut up and then 3 or 5 years from now, we've got we got potholes that we never would have had. You know what I'm saying? Beyond even aesthetics. It's rough, I mean,
Well,
whatever.
I'm a little concerned about your comment, because even as I was leaving tonight, I saw some new scratches. I don't know, like tire marks, and I wasn't sure where that even came from, even though it looked like it was coming close to, we were on the cul-de-sac, close to our driveway. So I am concerned, is it really, has that sun, we had some really hot weather, is this stuff settled, or is it, because it seems like there's new stuff coming, and he says he walks out by his mailbox and he thinks it.
I'd love to just come out and walk it at this point. I mean, just kind of like look at these things. I mean, on an
it was-
individual basis, because it gets,
Well, and you're calling it an anomaly, that's what I'm saying. You put a-
Well, I mean, there's the drag marks that jumped out to me, right? That I wanted.
From your machinery,
From the primaries, there's some, you know, they come out and if something was causing something to set up and drag, or just some of the rock drag, and fixing that and taking that out, because that jumps out to me right away. So when we do highways and things like that, you know, that's something you gotta be really all over. Not that the intent was to say, hey, don't do it in this neighborhood, but that is something that is, we're very much aware of.
But I imagine all your customers want a good looking road when it's done.
Oh, absolutely.
That's gotta be, I
Absolutely.
would think that would be.
Not to be rude or anything, but you know, there's a lot of us in that development that have done our approaches ourselves, okay? Because
I saw there was some in
because-
this way, yeah.
Because, well, a lot, you know, on Old Wayne Road, you know, because we're all going, you know what? If they do this, okay, I don't want my approach looking like that, so I'll do it myself.
So
You know, those would be sealed coated. I see what,
can we move to who negotiates with him on this situation, getting this resolved?
That's what we were just talking
That's
about.
what you guys do.
What we do.
So do you have things to negotiate with him, because future
We'll sit
business?
down, we kept the quarterback of what their
Yeah,
pay
I saw
was,
that.
the bill. And we'll sit down with Ryan and Travis and see what we can do to clear this up.
Can I ask a question? Who did the original road from the gravel to the top of the thing before that?
There was two different ones. There's two different ones.
Blacktop service.
Blacktop did the first 3 phases and ASCO did the last 2 years of ASCO.
10 years ago?
No, it was 8 and 7.
7 years ago?
8 year was.
Well,
eight-
ours
eight-
was last because we didn't get the.
Or maybe it
for
was
some
7
reason
and
we got-
8, 7 and 6. So first 3 were done 8 years ago, second, then the next one was done 7, and we were done 6 years.
6 years ago. And who did that?
ASCO.
That's- They obviously didn't use that piece of equipment.
No, but it was paving. It's different. It's a different.
that's a different thing.
That's different.
Yeah.
Okay, so taking over something. When
Yeah, like
taking over
you're
something-
putting a big mat, like,
Two-
I don't know if you have a 6-inch mat or a 4-inch.
It's 2.5 and 2.
So when you got these rods or dragons, they catch the old surface?
No,
No?
no, that's in the.
I was wondering what would make all those little ruts and stuff and drag marks all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, from my assessment, that's, you're getting some rock buildup in the primary, the secondary drag. Ideally, you like to kind of lightly touch those up as you go. Everybody does that. And if, for whatever reason, you get going down the road and sometimes, in fairness, it doesn't jump out to you right away when it's wet.
It does look, it's an interesting product, what I wouldn't say that. And that's why I didn't want to jump to any conclusions, but I should.
You mentioned chemical problems, you said chemical computerized.
They're just adjusting the emulsifiers and all
Right,
that.
is that a part of what he's talking about, what we're seeing? Was a big part of these roads done with the wrong?
No.
You're certain of that?
Yeah, prints a ticket of what was used and what percentages.
So it was the machine?
No, the machine was, the percentages are,
No, I mean, if it wasn't the formula.
I'm talking about there's a box behind it that it's like a paving box that is screed that's coming over the top of it. But because they have the aggregate and things that are in there, let's say temperature changes, right?
It blends it.
Starts out cool, yeah, it's just,
Did you look at
it
those?
comes out,
Yeah.
it drags down, just like your paving, but you can get buildup of rock or something that's actually in the wet material. All right, but it's, maybe clumping a little bit and dragging, where maybe there's one caught, it gets caught on the actual, secondary.
Yeah, what I'm trying to get at is why is that road so bad?
That's
Why-
my,
why
because
does it
there
look
was a lot of
so
that,
bad?
they went down, they got drug out, okay, and needed to, whatever that clumping was, and this is my assessment, they needed to get that off there in the back.
So
And if it was a hot day, it would set up quick. A hotter day, it would set
So
up
is
quick.
it the workers that were, if you get a rock in there, or are they supposed to
think
do that? or
Yeah,
Is it the training?
the training wise, everybody has gone through, we send people to multiple trainings. And this is the, third year. Does it mean that maybe someone wasn't paying attention or doing something and something, along it? Possibly. But, I can't just blanket say, hey, everybody went out here and wanted to do a bad job. You see it, I gotta address what I see. I said drag marks are issues if we're on especially when we're on a highway, it doesn't even go like 5-10 feet. We don't stop, but you have to address those as we're going.
Well, I think it's obvious that day that for our neighborhood, your process did not work. Therefore, you need to fix it. I was in business too, your customers have expectations. When it's your fault, you have to step up and make it right. And right now, just the bucket patch thing did not do it for us. We all sat and listened, waited till we had 3 or 4 really hot days, thought it was gonna look a lot better. I'm not sure it's been very satisfactory.
And I'm hearing it.
And now we want you to fix it, because we paid you to do it. And we don't know whether it was the load or the formulation or the buckets or the temperature changes that day. What we know is we got a road that isn't satisfactory to our eye, and we're worried about durability. Durability, you're not worried about. We're still not happy with a brand new road looking like it does. So isn't the answer to come out and redo it?
Which we'll get together with.
That's what I
That's
think
what we're just saying now.
everybody
We've had a lot of discussion on this, so we'll meet with you guys, ASCO, and see what we can get to resolve this.
I would like was there, because you did Iverson's also.
Yeah.
And Iverson's, we went there and looked at drove Hidden Valley when you were doing it. And then we went to Iverson's, us, me and the supervisors and stuff, and we looked at it and stuff. But Iverson's turned out, pretty dang good, and stuff in there. But you could tell right away, especially on the cul-de-sacs, which are hard for you, that it wasn't doing as good over there in Hidden Valley and stuff in there. So, we kind of was watching it, but Iverson's, I thought Iverson's looked pretty dang good.
They had a few spots, but not
Yeah.
bad at all,
Can I say one more thing before we wrap this portion up? Just so you know, it's a kind of unique situation here.
Sure.
So we were a gravel development, and we came together as neighbors and with the help of the township, physically funded the paving of the road. A little different than doing it via taxes. We ponied up the money to have this road paved, and I think it was a lot of work, and it was the accomplishment of my lifetime. And everyone was really happy, I think, with it. And, but we don't own the road. Technically, it's a township road. They assess the fees, that's how they pay you. So this is a little different, just feeling than just going down a city street, because it's a little benign when they're just paying it, their taxes. There's a little more care here.
And
So
I'm hearing that the goal is not to go out and just like you say, do willy-nilly and do whatever. There's definitely things aesthetically that, I'm saying, all right. The first step was, to fill in the drag marks and get that addressed, and that week and a half in there. Now I'm here to, we have to have further discussion and see what we can do.
Is there any way just to go over it, like even with, not even a lift, but some formula just to get it smooth at this point? With the color we gotta quit worrying about, because that's gonna, that'll fade.
So it don't look like ruts.
Yeah, but
No, that's not gonna be secure.
Well, I think it will over time.
No, it's not.
The ruts aren't going to, but the coloring.
The color, you think the black is gonna change color, so it looks like the thin veneer of the paint coming through?
Well, not the old road, but I mean, whatever they put down the first time and the second time, that eventually will even out. But if the road
I'm an
showing,
artist,
okay,
okay, I work with color all the time, and that's not gonna disappear.
That's part of your mitigation that you guys are gonna work out.
Yeah.
I heard, did you offer to come out and meet with some people? And
Yeah,
you can walk
gl-
around?
gladly.
Because
I-
we volunteer to,
I walk it every day. I know that road inside
I'm
and
sure
out.
Steve would.
And I think one of the concerns, and you've addressed it somewhat, but there's probably at least 100, if not more, divots that are about this round that go to the bottom, the original, that have been dug out, and they're throughout the whole neighborhood. And some driveways, in areas have 4 or 5, so those aren't gonna fill in themselves. They're gonna they have to, I'm no expert, but they have to just create problems, because you feel them in your road, like with your tires, but they're all over the neighborhood. That inconsistent, and they're about this big, like I said, everywhere, so that would be something I would ask you to look at as well.
Sure.
Okay, thanks for bringing your concerns to township board, and we'll work with the contractor and see what we can do.
Can you put that on your website, so we're
We will.
up to date, please?
We've been trying to do a lot more on the website all the time, so.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Okay, let's move on.
Anybody wanna go have a beer? I do wanna say, the end, I know the end of the driveway thing, and I like to get things looking spruced up, and I know there's some areas in that, if we ever can, designate a couple of days to go out there, it's with an emulsion, it's different emulsion. It's a seal coat. To do that, I just would like a way to coordinate that, because I don't want to create anxiety trying to make something right by going out and saying, well, we're gonna do the end of your driveway. People feel like wasn't communicated.
Well,
right.
before you put door tags on, correct?
Yep,
Well, it'd be really good if you could have more than 24 hours notice, in case somebody has an event at their home.
that was pretty
If you can
standard,
have
yes,
it something that's a little more than 24-hour notice, if you have company or something, and for us, our house is set way back.
Sure.
So even carrying groceries gets to be kind of fun,
Yes, I understand. I would just like to try to coordinate that issue a little bit. Maybe I can talk with these guys a little more
Yeah,
as well and put that out there, because that's something I've wanted to kind of help address for a long time, but it kind of comes in multiple directions. And it's hard to get out there 30 different times, and if we can come out there and address a lot of these things in a couple, that'd be great.
Just for clarification, for those of us who've already done the seal neighborhood, you're not gonna touch those, right? You're just talking about the ones that aren't sealed up yet? Oh, like I did mine, and I know.
No, yeah, I mean, if it's already whatever, or if you happen to think, oh, I'd like a little bit here and there and that. My background is that I've been doing that type of seal coating and stuff like that for 30 years in this town. So if you don't want it, that's fine, but I'm very comfortable doing all kinds of work.
This is the first time this has happened in your 30 years.
Well, this is 3 years that ASCO's been doing slurry.
Oh.
So, yeah, we're doing 18 miles a day, we're doing another, and obviously it's going fine.
And
And
use different equipment for different applications. Because coming off of the interstate on 29 on 10th Street, I saw all kinds of asphalt trucks and stuff, and there's this beautiful piece of equipment sitting there that was laying down a blacktop about that.
that's an asphalt pit. That's a different
Okay,
type of application.
okay. 'Cause that was beautiful.
Yeah, that's a new road.
Yeah,
That's an overlay.
yeah. I thought that's what I was looking over. So I guess I didn't know what slurry was. Just the word slurry. And you should change that.
Okay.
Yeah. There's something different.
Well, I'm not trying to trick anybody here.
It's not a very appealing word.
Okay, we want to move on.
On that note.
Item 3,
Alrighty.
water damage. Kevin, you've been working with them people?
Okay, so, you know, in June 22nd there, we had the water damage, we had the flooding. Right away I went in there into crisis management. It's a new program, which is a state crisis management program. I went in there and put in all the sites and stuff in there. You know, the main ones were Maple, 264th, but we did put in 267. Put in quite a few different sites, about 14 of them. You know, we had, like I discussed before, we had Maple, we had it ready to do dust control. And then with all the water coming down and stuff in there, did some washouts and stuff like that. We did put those in. There is discussion of we would ever get money on that because for FEMA and stuff in there, it's they consider that small dollar. So on July 1st, me and Jason Gearman, which is a Minnehaha County crisis management person, we went in there and we checked all the stuff, re-input into crisis management, all the sites and stuff in there. And then I met with him also on July 29th. But it has been approved by FEMA, that they had enough damage and stuff, so FEMA did come in and say they have money. So FEMA is supposed to be coming in and personally visit, just like they did before in 2018 and stuff on 264th. And we had the problems and stuff in there. I am a little bit worried that it's gonna hit up here when I'm on vacation, so you guys will have to be on standby for that or whatever. So, but anyway, it is coming in there. What the FEMA is proposing that at each site has got to be over $4,000 before they would they'd fund it. And so some of the sites were a smaller amount where, like I said, the washouts down the hills of Maple and stuff like that. So that's yet to be determined, but they did some input in their state association, sent some emails out because that still hurts like your smaller townships and stuff like that. So more to come on that. But the sites are all input, but that FEMA will come in and then that's a whole different program. And I'm hoping that this crisis management that the state is doing will actually go into FEMA in there, because that was pretty time consuming last time trying to do that, but that's where we're setting. So we should get some money back for sure. Maple and 264th for some of the flooding, but I don't know if there's any other questions on that in there. 267, there was some damage over there, but like I said, it kind of depends on if FEMA puts a cap on, what it, if we're going to be over that cap. The thing is that it'll be very interesting, because if they do put a cap on it, it's still going to force them to go to each site, and then we're going to have to do some calculation, because a couple of them, they took out some of the ditches, and some of the things there. So yes, we have a lot of our own equipment, but you start getting FEMA pricing, it don't take long to get over $3,000 to $4,000. So smarter than the average bear on that, so we'll try to figure that out. But that's where it's at right now. Did you hear anything more about you getting involved at all with the FEMA and stuff in the new one?
As far as the June heavy rain event?
Yeah, the new one.
So what I've heard is that the state declared it a disaster, but it's still waiting to be declared a presidential disaster. I heard that we'll find out by the end of August. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay, they said it was. They had the amount. They said it was. Yeah, they said it was.
Okay.
And that FEMA was coming out. So in there, but there's been a lot of damage otherwhere, so they didn't know if they were going to get out here, like you said, by the end of August or whatever. So that's where I'm saying that the pushing the timeline to be input in there.
Okay, anything else on that? Okay, item 4, section line road, Iverson Crossing Road, Powder House Road. That's to do with front footage. That's correct?
We had some calls on why that stretch in Iverson Crossing didn't get done, because it's not part of the development. The people ahead of it that lived down there blacktopped it themselves. I guess I wasn't on the board then, but this is what I was told. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. They went ahead and blacktopped it, so they never really got put into the development. So you guys haven't been paying front footage on that. And the front footage is to help pay for slurry seal or whatever seal you want to call it, and just the upkeep on the blacktop. So that's why we're here tonight and going to talk about which ones to do, so we get you guys on the front footage pay, so we can get you guys know what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
So
I live on that, I live at the very end of, got the bridge in my backyard.
oh yeah,
So I think I'm the longest neighbor there, and it was done before I moved in, so I'm not sure who did it. I have one of two options, I think that, but anyway, regardless, it's there. It absolutely, I think, if you could let us know, I think everybody, I'm speaking on behalf of my neighbors, that we would like to have, the township continue to serve that. We didn't know we weren't paying our fair share, if that's the case. I just assumed, because it's been cleared of snow for the last 12 years that we've lived there. It's been, there's maybe been 2 or 3 treatments for the asphalt, and it's been included every time. So it was a surprise to us that it wasn't included this time.
So a lot of our questions is that we didn't go there, but you don't know when that was done, the pavement was put in? Or even who did it?
We bought our house from Aaron Aaron Munson had passed away, but his wife, forgive me, thank you. And then Gary Haar owned a bunch of those lots and was developing them when we moved in, so it may have been Gary who did.
Yeah, because we didn't know what if it was up there to specs, just like when when Hidden Valley, like he was in the discussion, Hidden Valley did it, but we did it by our engineers and stuff, so that was kind of some of the questions. If we put you into Iverson's, is yours as good? Pavement as good as Iverson's.
It's been treated. It's been maintained. It had the crushed gravel treatment a few years ago that you laid down, and it had an oil treatment on top of it. It had the toilet paper treatment. It's had all of these things that it's never not had until this time what's been going on in the rest of the.
and that's why we thought it'd be good to get this out in the open, and then it's on record, and then we go from there. But when we say that Pine Lake Hills, a lot of that blacktop on Pine Lake Hills was just laid on dirt. Developer just laid it on dirt. So, that's why we didn't know for sure if you got a 4-inch lift in there or a 5-inch or how thick the blacktop is, but
I don't know.
It's been holding up, I know.
Yeah, to me, it looks the same as the rest of the neighborhood. I know it's probably a little newer than the rest of, but not much.
Yeah,
So
it
that
is newer than the rest.
Yeah, you would know.
I Gary wants to put it in the open house. Gary wants to pay for that, when he built the house.
Okay.
I think they like.
I think it was a gravel road.
Yeah, that's good base. Yeah, the only thing that, like you say, saved you there, you had a gravel road on the bottom of it before that, so, it's been driven on gravel way before they got blacktops.
Yes.
Even before they made the 38.
Yeah.
We still
When the bridge was
get
still open.
people, in fact, somebody called or stopped at the door still on Saturday, because Google Maps still has the bridge on
Yeah.
Google Maps.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
this time.
Oh, and that
People
close.
drive down and end up in our house, because we are literally the dead end Where are we at? We're
That bridge
at the road
closed
with
when I was
City
in high
Road.
school.
Well, I remember driving over it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Did you go to a bridge out party?
Mark does too.
But I think it closed probably in the late eighties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had that here just recently, and looking at it, you know, what happened on the road and where all the lots and stuff are and stuff in there. I got it. You know, this is Google Maps, but you can see it shows that it goes over across.
I guess
Do we need
I
that?
guess my question would be,
We need it.
okay, I understand that's for the pavement. What is like ours on the gravel? What is ours gonna cover when we pay that?
It's basically, when they do gravel and stuff in there, is for the dust control, and that's it.
Okay,
That's all we
so-
charge. So, you know, the townships are really, we're the only township in the state of South Dakota that has asphalt and stuff in there. So we have,
I'm not sure
we're
what
kind
you
of
mean by that.
unique as a township.
We need-
But we also have all these other developments. So these developments, like say Kim Circle or some of these other ones, the only thing that we charge back to them is, you know, dust control, anything extra that we do type of deal. Or if they have to do something with drainage or something like that, something really odd that wouldn't
Or
be.
culverts need to be replaced or something like that.
Yeah.
Driveway culverts.
But you pay taxes to there, but all it is just cover the extra maintenance of
So like
pavement.
dust control or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
'Cause we paid for that, not through you guys before, because we paid
Yeah,
it
you've done
privately.
it on your own, but then
Yeah.
it is our road, but so we really want the product that, you know, we approve. And there, because right now we're using magnesium, calcium and, magnesium.
Chloride.
Magnesium
Make
chloride,
chloride.
yeah. So it's not as hard on your vehicles and stuff like that, so. But, that type of deal. But for you, for the gravel portion that we had talked about is that we wouldn't be able to assess you until probably 26, because we're gonna have to do you as a kind of a separate, you know, Iverson's gravel. You know,
Oh,
so-
because it tells us what we pay in here already.
yeah, but it won't be
That was just a
assessed for,
suggestion by Lisa.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay,
that's a
Some of
suggestion by
them, some
Lisa.
developments are 40 cents, 60, 80
okay.
That's voted on in March.
in March at the annual meeting.
But even if we say, hey, they're development, the gravel portion, we wouldn't be able to assess until
Well, the
March.
blacktop either.
Well, the blacktop we can put with Iverson's.
Well, you'd have to blend it in then, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but in Iverson's, the blacktop portion, I'm saying we should blend it in with,
But they're not gonna start paying until,
probably not for 2 years.
yeah.
What we give them next March is what we give to the county auditor in
Right.
September.
And they just add it onto our taxes?
Yeah, it just
Oh, okay.
shows as a special assessment.
so in March, I'd have to figure out how much it costs for that section to be dust controlled. And then we'd have to figure it out by the number of people there in the front footage, just to get enough money in there to pay for the dust control. Because really, you don't have any colors on there, so you
No,
really
we
ain't gonna have much maintenance besides that on that gravel portion.
Yeah, hi there. So I just moved in like a week ago, literally,
Okay.
just south of Tammy. And my address on here is my old address, the house we just moved out of. I don't know if you need to like update.
There's no Tuscan.
Well, and this is, the thing is that when we set these letters out and stuff in there, we had to go in by what's on the tax rolls.
Right.
So if you go in there and you change it in the tax roll, the address, it'll.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure like where they came up with the frontage distance, like with my old address.
No, we
this
went
is
with the new address for the front.
We use the parcel that is your parcel now.
But the address on there was what it was on the
Mail.
tax rolls.
If you wanna let me your address before you leave, I can change it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just out of point of interest, how do you get the frontage? 'Cause it can't be the road frontage. It
It's
must be
off the original plat, which is held down at the county courthouse.
Is it like a circumference?
It's
No.
No.
So what is that?
Touches the road.
Yeah.
where the front door of your house, the space that Right, Kevin?
But how do I get my mailbox is across from his driveway? I don't know how I get, I'm not arguing, cause
No.
we would, my fear is that we wouldn't pay enough because of the way the road is constructed. We're at the very end and we don't have really any yard that touches it. But this shows we have 267 feet, so I'm just curious as to how
It
that
goes,
happened.
you can go on county GIS, I do have it here, there, but, let's see if I can get it up there. So this is by your lot. Let me see if I can bring it up here. This is what your lot is and stuff in there. And so you're saying you're down further down here.
We're at the very, very, very.
Yeah,
end.
right, they have the bridge.
And I feel like my
We're
part,
in
my
the
house
red.
is that's the one on the south there, right on the river.
This one right here?
Doing all
The
the
big
dirt.
one.
I feel like the part of my driveway goes right up to the road, and it's like that, it's a tiny little strip, like that
Yeah,
little
that
section
right there
right
where your
there.
cursor
Right there where
is.
the cursor is, up to
Yeah.
that red line.
And that's really all mine
Looks
is
like-
as well, because I don't know what the red,
Whatever your lot line is.
Well, I think in these numbers, and I'm filling in for Lisa Marceau, she's
Yeah.
the attorney for the township, I'm one of her partners, and so you get me tonight. But I think the way she calculated it, in South Dakota statutes, the idea of frontage isn't specifically defined in great detail, okay? And I think, because of the unique way the property abuts the road, I mean, it certainly does abut the road, but I think for purposes of these calculations, I think she used this.
Oh,
that's our yard.
there's no road over there.
There's no road.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But again, based on because frontage would mean the front of somebody's home. And because of the way the house sits, I think she used this dimension.
And it's trying to get it fair, because like this one here is gonna be using from this one to this one to here.
Right.
Yeah, and so you get it so that kind of everybody pays their fair share.
Yeah, I'm cool, I'm not arguing the number, I just was curious as to how you got the number when we were at a point on the end.
Sure.
So, because you're right, I mean, we shouldn't pay the point on the end, we should pay more, so other people aren't.
Well, because some of the
Make
arguments,
them
some of the arguments is that you drive the whole road, the other ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I-
but
I-
like you said,
At this point,
Yeah.
it's up the whole road.
Yeah.
I guess there is.
But the point is, like you said, by statute wise, we try to make it go in there. So,
To accept it.
I get it.
yeah, I would.
Yeah, and I think also you want to assess the amounts.
Yeah.
No, you could do
I
for
don't
the,
know who, but it's
for the,
been purchased.
Iverson.
For Iverson.
no, yeah, I would do it for,
No, because you would.
There's Iverson,
Because you got Iverson crossing in there.
but I would actually.
And Powder House.
To me, I'd make a motion that
Right there.
the pavement portion, this pavement portion, you put
Yeah.
Iverson crossing.
Be added to the.
Iverson crossing.
To this
And then-
year, in
and then we'll-
September, right?
And then we'll do a second motion to put Iverson crossing gravel, as a separate.
You want to approve these frontage
Mulder
distances
wanted to buy it.
for these properties.
This was right.
Do that. So, this one's
Yeah,
gonna be
you know,
200
that's
feet,
the-
this one's gonna be.
We have a right of way.
Yeah.
I have.
Thank you for coming.
Pat,
Cause we sold.
I have the plats that I got from
Yeah, we
down
own
at
that, we
Village
also
Zoning
own where,
for Iverson Crossing. Can I
Wendy
send
and-
those with you?
I think, I have
everything
plats.
between you
Oh,
guys and the
yeah,
other
they're the
house
same
on
plats.
that side too.
I think that's where Lisa
And then we sold
got
that.
these numbers.
Then we sold this.
To the extent she
letter
could,
bought,
I'm trying to
and
get a hold
never
where she
enough
got on
there to
GIS.
build a house.
Okay.
But I don't think,
And then,
Kevin, you and I need
Nikki
to ever
and-
talk to Lisa
Nikki
about
and they wanted to buy it.
if we're gonna turn them into the auditor this September, because we don't have a tower.
Well, that's what we had said that we could on
I'm sure.
You and I
the
talked about-
asphalt,
Yeah, on the
but not the
asphalt.
gravel.
Oh,
But
yeah,
not the
I'm sure.
gravel. So I don't know if Lisa knows that we're not gonna do
Yeah,
that.
'cause he's only had
Burn
one
them in
conversation.
in
Yeah.
September.
And I guess she didn't talk to me about the distinction between
And it was my
The two,
fault.
yeah.
Because this.
But if we make it as a separate asphalt,
Yeah.
then we would not be able to. But I'm still
Yeah.
saying that we don't wanna manage,
I would have.
to me, whenever you do Iverson, you try to do the other one also.
Okay. That's interesting.
Just like what they was talking about is that we stopped at the other one and we didn't do the other one, so we should really have them try to get them all together.
Yeah. Well, we still have the September, well, she's not gonna be there and you aren't gonna be
I don't
there
know, maybe.
next time either, so.
But I would still, if they're in agreement, it seems like they're in agreement, so I would just go for it.
I'll make a motion that we
I think you need to,
set.
Implement front footage for the,
if you're gonna try to get
Front
it.
footage for Iverson Crossing.
I second.
We're still gonna get like the road plowed and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Yeah, you get the regular maintenance like we always had. This is just in order to keep up on improvements on the black
Right, and so
and the gravel.
I have one
Yeah.
last question about that. So we just moved in, but our driveway is like mostly done, but the end of the driveway, the last, I don't know, like 15, 20 feet of it is not poured yet. And I don't know how far out to take that. Like, how far up, if we do that slurry deal, like, I mean, is it, like, should I just take it all the way up to the road where it is right now?
So you're talking right here, this one?
Yeah.
Right
Should
there?
I have the concrete poured, my driveway, all the way up to where the road is currently? Or should I have it backed up a couple feet or what? You know?
There's some neighbors that have both. You wanna take a look?
Will the blacktop run all the way across your driveway? I haven't been,
No,
There's-
it's,
There's nothing there, it's a new
right,
lot.
it's a new
yeah,
lot.
so I mean, when you, how would I say that? So the road won't be blacktop all the way down.
Well, it's kind of one of those, the catch twenty two, it's just like Hidden Valley, you have some of them that the blacktop goes all the way out, some of them that put pavement,
I
in
know,
there.
but I'm saying,
Yeah.
the
So the same
blacktop,
way.
the blacktop, the front of the house doesn't go that far.
I
How
thought
far does the blacktop go there then?
It goes up to the,
It like,
The
yeah,
blacktop goes into the
Yeah,
asphalt
it
goes
goes
all the way up to
Oh, well,
our
see,
house.
You
So
wanna go to 6 foot right away and then that's where you're at, your driveway should be at least, up to the edge of the right away.
You have a
up
culvert
to
in
the
there?
edge. You said,
Is there a culvert in your driveway?
I don't think so.
Can't remember.
I think it was pretty,
Permit for culvert.
No, there should be one, there shouldn't it?
I think it's pretty flat, it's pretty flat, though, isn't it?
It drops down to the river.
The cement hole
Never
under.
been drove there.
It drops
The other
down.
I
one,
don't think so.
I don't think so either.
he doesn't, Marlon said it lives right next door. It doesn't there's no divot there, it's
It's
a
just flat.
level ground after his driveway, closer to the river. Then it sinks down into that old tree bed that used to be along the river.
It used to be a dump.
road.
if I remember right, it's, man, we drove there, but that was,
Yeah.
remember the gravel, the oil went like there, but there was real flat there that went over to his, but that
Went
one.
over your house,
Used to
and
be a-
blacktop comes down and goes up your driveway, the other one. Yeah.
That- there is an
It's a good
issue
question whether
with
you
too
want-
much water. We own the house, right across the street from him.
Yeah.
And there's a whole drainage issue in that neighborhood. That, we have water that gets backed up into that garage, since there've been new buildings and more, it's just.
Okay, we'll get back to the
Places for the
motion
water to go.
to approve.
Yeah, Pat, do you wanna help
What-
us with this, motion?
Yeah, I
that
think-
Marvin is trying to make here, if we said he made a motion to implement FFA front foot assessments for, residents on Iverson Crossing,
Mhm.
do we need to specify?
I'd say asphalt, the asphalt portion, we're doing this to
I'd be
asphalt,
happy two of them, one asphalt,
but you have to do two different motions, though, I guess.
Okay,
So, cause the asphalt one,
is gonna be
Good.
set at $2.
I would just add it to the Iverson's asphalt.
Yeah, right,
So
okay,
we're not doing a new development.
so then,
Yeah, you can do two is fine. You can do the gravel set from the asphalt.
That's what I would do. We need to do the asphalt because we're gonna assess them differently.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the amount.
Okay, back to the motion. Marv made a motion to implement front foot assessments for residents on Iverson Crossing that have asphalt.
Yes.
That have asphalt.
Now, some of these are not Iverson Crossing addresses.
No, that's only
No,
because,
that's, the
that's the,
development is Iverson's.
yeah, it is, but that's their tax roll.
It's the same.
Yeah. It's a-
I second it.
Yeah.
Okay,
The only way,
4059.
like say, he wasn't living there, he's building that road, so
That's
that's a nice house, we drove there a couple times there, down there. But you weren't living there, so then
Wait,
the
is
tax
that
rolls
motion
were.
okay? Then do we have to say at $2
Yes.
per front foot? Okay. At $2 per front foot, okay. I can talk to you later if I need.
No, that sounds good.
Any more discussion on the motion?
So I missed maybe a gap in the conversation. So it won't start until 2016, the assessment?
No, the
2026.
asphalt.
The asphalt, do you have asphalt in front of yours?
Yes.
Okay, so your properties that we haven't been assessing will be grouped in with the whole Iverson Crossing development.
Okay,
And they currently are assessed $2 per front foot. And so that's on their tax bill. Your guys' front footage that we have to get that maybe finalized or looked at again, but you guys, I give that front foot assessment to the county auditor by the end of September of this year.
okay,
So that would go on your next year's
Yep.
real estate, which you get at the end of March, I think, something like that. And then that's payable for the next year's taxes. So it will be on your tax bill from the county, be
2026.
payable in 2025. No, 2026, you're right, 2026.
so between now and then,
You're not paying anything then.
You're not,
but do we have to make sure that we don't get behind on the maintenance of the asphalt, I guess is
No.
where I'm headed?
no, it'll just go into their account.
No,
and-
No, what she's talking about, is she gonna get the slurry seal like everyone else did?
Oh, cause
The
they
maintenance on
they
it.
still didn't do yours yet.
No.
No, and maybe I'm happy about that, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe this is a blessing in disguise, I don't know.
So no, you're never gonna get a bill for anything that's done on your asphalt. It'll be paid by the township and you'll just jump in where,
You'll be included in the rest of the development now.
Yeah.
Will they go back and do that little patch then before too long, so we don't get a different, that part of the road doesn't look so different than?
Let us talk and visit with ASCO and see what we can do with that too.
you guys would be interested, I'm sure, to do that though, right?
Even then, you might.
Yeah, it's getting a little worn.
It's a little
It needs some care.
It might need some crack. We didn't
Whatever
look at
that is,
though.
I'm not the
Yeah.
person to
Yeah.
diagnose that, but
Before they do the slurry seal, they do crack sealing, so that's what, maybe you have to look at that.
Right.
We didn't look at that close.
yeah,
Because we had a lot of questions.
There
When
are
was
some
it does, how
cracks.
deep is it? You understand
sure.
more than. But we will get it on, once we get you, after this meeting, then we'll get you on the March's meeting, that we'll talk about, hey, do we need to do slurry seal there? You know, that'll be, it doesn't happen quickly. Okay, well, I'll say that.
Thank you for all your.
Yeah, did we
Okay, thanks
answer
for
all
all
your
the
questions?
discussion.
Yes.
We're gonna move on.
No, you're gonna do the one for gravel now?
We're gonna do this one.
Call the question.
Oh, okay.
All
Oh,
in favor?
you haven't done the question yet, I'm sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, now we move on to the gravel portion of Iverson Crossing. It looks like there's six residents.
Right. I don't know what that Charlotte Avenue is.
No, I counted, there's six on the gravel.
Okay,
There's.
So the gravel portion is right here, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on one side, one. This one's on the other road. This one's already getting assessed
okay.
over here. So 1, 2, 3, so 9. Is there 9 properties or so?
You got three down here, or six.
Six
down.
down.
Six on the sheet.
I didn't count that.
I sent it to her, here, let me see what I got here. Because these, no, wait a second, you're right, might be 6, it'd be
Oh,
one.
we got the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, we got, some of these are going the other way, whoops, and I hit something wrong here, unfortunately. You're right, so some of these are being assessed already. So on the gravel portion, so these two are assessed over here in Cali. So there's be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there should be 7.
What about on the corner?
Well,
There's
that's,
7 with the
The
empty
one way on
lot.
the corner?
Which one, this one?
Or is there a lot
That-
line there?
That is owned by the same person. That corner is owned, that, where it looks like the empty lot, that's all one.
Yeah,
that's
McKinney
yeah.
owns all that.
But his frontage goes there, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 6 right here.
Oh, mine
And
is
then
the
this
one
one's
with all the
7.
trees,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah,
And then these other ones are being assessed, these other neighbors are being assessed already.
Yeah,
So it should be 7, but I'll have to look. at it.
yeah, do you see where that address on that bottom one is 911 South Charlotte?
Yeah,
That,
that's this one over here.
yeah,
Well, that'd be,
it's just where the tax bill's going, but
That's what the tax bill, but that's parcel 171665.
I don't have a parcel on this sheet.
Oh, yeah.
that's just an empty lot. I think someone just bought it. I don't know who bought it.
Charlotte? It's
Letter has been
71665.
dead a couple years.
Yeah, so that's what that one, 717665.
that makes 7, on that one.
I so move that we include gravel, Iverson Crossing gravel road to our,
And we
our
make,
assessment.
and we make that one a new development.
What?
You consider that one a new development, because that's
Yeah.
gravel.
You go. You have a second?
I got a second.
So motion to include
The gravel.
FFA assessments in, or for those residences on gravel.
Yeah. He's got a little. He's
And,
got-
and the amount,
not too
on
many
Iverson Crossing. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, and we wouldn't do the amount on that one until March, because that's a
because
new
you're not,
development.
okay, so you're not gonna do it here.
Yeah, we're not gonna do it here, because it's a new, we consider it a new development.
Kevin and I talked about that, but we never finalized it with Lisa, but I think she'll understand because these guys would have to set the front footage amount for that gravel, but more importantly, the people that are there, we would take it up at the March meeting, so it wouldn't, they wouldn't actually be billed for 2 years,
Yeah,
right? So,
correct. Yeah,
mean,
so it would be, if it's not till March,
right,
yeah, you're gonna be 2 years behind.
yeah. But they were talking about 7 residences, so. I don't think unless you think these guys want to assess for them and we set it tonight, or do you think we just wait? I don't know what the answer is.
It's up to you guys, depending
Yeah.
on when you wanna start
If you wanna
collecting
assess,
that money.
if you wanna just assess 40 cents, I guess we'll be.
What do you guys think? Wait? Yeah.
Yeah, I would wait and just put it on, with our other ones.
Okay.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, I think we handled that. Oh, Powder House? Okay,
Yeah, what do we do on Powder House?
this gravel?
That's gravel.
But we do dust control on that one. And I would say that, to me, that one needs to go into Split Rock Heights,
Gravel?
like all the other, Split Rock Heights gravel.
Oh, like 23rd and that.
20th with 33rd, 23rd Schaefer and stuff in there. That's my
Being
first-
floated, yeah.
be my personal opinion, because when they chopped it up, now after some discussion, the other portion is maintained by the city. It was the asphalt, and so we don't have to worry about that one, so you're only talking the five properties or 4 properties, one of them was, how many properties would be listed on that?
Five.
Five.
One of them is owned by the city of Sioux Falls, or the 6th one is owned by the city of Sioux Falls, which is the corner,
Right.
which is gonna be redone with Arrowhead.
Where Rose and Booms live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just the 5 properties.
So making a motion on, we're making a motion to include
That's what I would do, and then clean
include
that.
it in the Schaefer one, I mean, the
For
first.
gravel, they have
Gravel.
Split Rock Heights.
Yep.
It's part of Split Rock Heights, but Split Rock Heights gravel.
Yep.
And
So
then I would
Schaefer.
clean that one up.
Gravel,
Cause I moved John's house away, do you assess that?
John Schaefer's old house.
The house is gone, but
But it's still, it's a lot.
the lot goes,
Yeah.
is bought by,
Yeah,
the kids got the lot, don't they?
Yeah, it's in their name.
Randy house, it's his frontage is to the south. Can we assess that?
No, the house is faced the other way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
there's another road in there. There's another road in there, but, we have never accepted that road. It's Preston or,
Like a, oh,
let me see if I can get to it. This is slow. So we'd have to go to, let me get there, 26 Arrowhead.
Just make the motion. Keep going.
Yeah.
Rich and
It's
Mark,
just that
do you
it's-
think,
I gotta let it catch up then.
Rich and Mark,
That are facing the road.
Rich and Mark, do you think we should treat these 5 on, Powder House the same way as the gravel on Ivers Crossing and just wait and assess them next March?
Yeah.
The same, so we do it, so you don't have to come up with a,
Yeah.
Dollar.
on it.
yeah, like a
You can
dollar
make a
amount.
motion.
Okay, I make the motion that we add Powder House Road, the
Gravel,
gravel, the five properties into Split Rock Heights gravel development.
I'll second that.
Okay.
What if your house is facing to the south, not to the west? You assess that?
So here, it is. So which one are you talking about right here? Whoops.
Be Randy's.
Randy Postman's house.
See, there's a harvest, there's another,
Street.
harvest trail that we do not do. It's right there. So this is the one that you're talking about?
I think probably is.
Yeah.
But we don't do that one, so. And his house front door faces to the south.
South,
So the harvest trail, does he,
We don't maintain it.
we don't maintain, we don't do anything on it, so we just go down, we just go right up to here.
There you go.
No.
No.
Not a harvest trail, it's a driveway though. On Powder House there is.
Randy's address is Powder House?
No.
No.
Well, yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is,
The house faces south.
yeah, front door is.
Same with the old house, faces south.
But if we get this done now, at least we can
Have something to go,
change the front footage on it.
Okay,
yeah.
At least it's added in.
all right,
And Rich, you made that motion,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
I second it.
okay, got it.
In discussion.
I went for a walk in the area, saw the car lights.
Yeah, bring the city.
My wife,
Do we vote on it?
4 days, go to Michigan for bridal shower.
Got it.
At night, kid, I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, Any more discussion on Powderhouse Road? So hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Number 5 is dust control. Any comments on that?
You put dust control on Maple and that speed goes up.
Well, I'm sorry. That's the way it goes. How about yours, Russ? Speed go up on yours?
My road's really good,
Well, you just bladed it yesterday, so.
and no, I'm doing really good, and you know I don't have dust control
I
on the
know.
road, and it's working really well, so.
I was throwing a joke there because once they put dust control on Maple, the street signs, the speed goes up.
Yeah.
I was hoping yours went down, Steve.
You're completely done, right? No?
Yeah.
No. And are you looking, you're not gonna do any more, Maple again or anything?
No, we did Maple, went over Maple once totally, and then we went back over it down the center. So we covered it pretty hard. But we had to, we got all new gravel.
Okay, we'll move on to new business. Sign restrictions, resolution.
Right, I didn't give copies of this to everybody,
Thank you.
but
Thank you.
yeah, thanks for coming.
Good night.
I'll read this resolution and then I'll give Virgil a copy to put on the website. And the resolution reads, whereas pursuant to SDCL 311351, the Board of Supervisors of Split Rock Township is responsible for township roads, and whereas the township roads are public roads that are not to be obstructed without cause, and whereas the supervisors find that obstructions in the township roads, including but not limited to any burning of materials in the road, if the road impedes safe travel, and a fine in the amount of $500 per incident is appropriate to punish violation and remediate damage where necessary. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved that it is unlawful to obstruct any township road without good cause and timely permission from a supervisor, and that a fine in the amount of $500 per occurrence shall be paid for any violation of this resolution. So we'll need a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion to approve the
Okay,
resolution.
I second.
okay,
Okay, any more discussion?
and we'll put that on the website as well.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you.
Elected officers update. Anything, Rich?
No, the John Deere is ready to come back finally. After getting that snow blower shaft and all that, it's been tore down twice already because they forgot some parts. And so that's about ready. Cat's about ready to send that back. And then the blade's done. We had trouble with the lift category in the front. It was settling all the time. They got check valve in it. That was bad. The Packers is in. They put that on it. That way pull around behind the blade. And, but anyway, that's ready to come back home finally, so it's been up there for a while. Shouldn't be any charges on that either, so.
Can we go back to the amended, Kim Circle under new business?
Yeah.
I don't know who wants to.
You want to discuss that?
On Kim Circle?
Yeah.
I know we have the culverts that are starting to rust out over there. So I thought we'd get a plan together and see if we have to replace all 5 of those.
Suggestion, should we just table that issue until next meeting? Or do you want to start working on, the cost and stuff to bring to another meeting?
No, we just want to get an estimate.
Pursue it.
To do it, get it done.
So do we need a motion, do you think, Pat, on that to pursue, getting,
This is development.
It wouldn't hurt to just have an agreement that you're gonna get an
that we're
estimate
gonna
to
work
do
on
that
it going
maintenance.
forward? Okay. So we need a motion.
I move we get some bids on Kim Circle replacing the culverts.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we'll go back to elected officer.
Okay, there's a couple things in there. They talked about crisis management, but I did go and to tax meeting, Farm Bureau had Wendy Semler up at McCrossin. I went and talked to her. She was the one that spoke against the legislation on the front foot assessment. And so we talked about that quite a bit, and then we talked about Sioux Falls Township on honor rolls and stuff in there. It's put in a case that we need to get it just like the cities, get the legislation like the cities and stuff. And after talking to her, seemed that yeah, she agreed with what I was saying. She kept on wanting to say that we should go to basically road districts, and we had quite a discussion about that, because the only one that they said there's one in Rapid City, and then she did give me the name and where they are. It's actually it's not really in Rapid City, it's further over, and they basically did a road district in their own township, so they do all their maintenance and stuff. And then I said, well, none of the developments want that, want to be part of the township and stuff in there. So we need to get the legislation. So we did had a good discussion about that there, and stuff. So got that ready for the legislation coming up later.
Kevin, if you were a district, you'd have to do your own snow removal and everything, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and one of the things that they was talking about is that, okay, if you ever did a road district, like say, let's say Pine Lake Hills is a road district. Technically, I'm saying we couldn't go do their roads. They couldn't hire us out because we'd be competing against private individuals. And she says, oh, that's a good point, because she said that Lincoln is having the same issue, that people are trying to do pavement. And they were instead of forcing them to be a development like with us, they wanted to be a road district, and then they would just do their snow removal. And I'm sitting there saying, technically, by most of your statutes, government agencies can't be a contracted source. Mm-hmm. So I says, you're doing a whole different ball game there. And then so, like I said, she was saying, and she said back there, she said, I am really glad that you came and talked to me, because she says you're a heck of a source. Mm-hmm. So we did have a really nice conversation on that. So I did do that. And stuff in there. And then the other thing that we got to discuss is about the dust control. That we did basically about all the gravel and stuff in there. And you see what our money amount is, and you see what our bills are. So we're really pushing to what we have in the checking account. So I'm gonna try to do a figure there this week. I do have a CD coming September 1st, coming due, but I'm out of town, so I'm gonna need somebody. I talked to the banker. If I sign that CD, and have make a check out to Spokane Township, you can move. I need somebody to volunteer to, go to Plains Commerce, then take it over to the First National Bank, and it has to be in the 3rd of September. I can borrow out of the development funds a little bit. There is some in there, but just to get me by. But I think I got it right now. I'll be under 10,000, which is, with all of our activity, makes me nervous. But it's paid the payroll and stuff like that. So as you'll see, as the bills come up. So I just wanted to kind of discuss that, and then we'll talk about who wants to do that, and then I'll set it up with the banker to do that. I will not be here this September's meeting, like Van said there before. I'll be gone. Lisa's going to be gone also. And I think that was all I had.
Okay. Pam, do you have anything?
No, just the regular landfill, which is on the website, that everyone just needs a driver's license to take. You get one free trip to the landfill. And that's good up until December 31st. And, also that we need to go into executive session. We have one issue to talk with the supervisors, so.
Okay. All right, I didn't have anything, but we'll move on to public comment. Okay,
Yeah, did you guys use any herbicide on trees in the ditches last year or so far this year, like spot spraying, or do you know?
We have not this year.
Last year they did.
Did they last?
We might have last year because Dan was still here. We don't have anybody with a license right now.
Cause they used, I think, tore down on it.
So Dan did it some last
Yeah,
year, right?
last year. Tore-
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, just,
Cause there's still some in there, the product in there and stuff, and I'm pretty sure he did some of them.
okay, that's,
But this year, no, he was all right.
there. Go ahead, that's all I got.
anybody else?
I do. First of all, thank you. I appreciate, today we had another group of trees being burned. So what happens when that happens again? Do I call you guys? Do I call, what do I? Oh, I got them. I got the pictures. So, cause I was like, geez, wouldn't you know, he does it on the day that just, but it happens and it'll happen again. I know. But 2 hours of burning stuff in the middle of the road. So I just don't, I need to know, then who do I contact when it happens?
Well, that's supposed to be one of us, and then we'll get a hold of the proper channel.
Okay.
And then I think Lisa would probably send them a letter and state the date and time.
Maybe we should send them a letter right away.
Oh, okay, because I mean, I just
So
wondered,
you
because
know.
today I called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I know nobody came out, and I didn't know what the process would be, or if there's someplace else I need to call. Because it is disruptive today, there were 2 service trucks that came back, and again, they can get through, but they can't turn around, they have to back into driveways and then move
Get
around.
that
So,
side to send
and
a
there's
letter,
kids.
so.
Yeah, I seen it.
Are we waiting until they?
Did you see it?
Or are we
I
sending
think
them?
so.
I would warn him.
I'd send them a letter, but
I'd send him a
he's the only one that does it,
Yes.
that we know about, but.
And we'll have Virgil put put the resolution on the website. But Pat, I have a question for you on that then. Todd is not here evidently tonight, and the resolution needs to be signed and dated. Now, they just accepted the resolution tonight,
Mhm.
so would Lisa just send them a letter with a new copy of the resolution, but it's not signed? That's my question. Or do you,
Yeah, it's been passed. I don't see an issue with sending notice
Okay.
that the resolution was adopted.
you think it'd still be okay to send him a letter,
I don't think it would hurt. I mean, it would stop the
so he knows he can't do it again?
activity, right?
Yeah, something to start the fire.
So you
Yeah.
have, so you
Maybe
have,
I'll-
so I guess you have the resolution. And if we get you the name and address of it, would you be the one to send that? I would just take dated and signed off.
Sure.
Would that work?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that job.
Okay.
So he'll notify him.
Thank you. The other question, it was probably about 4 years ago that the township came through Dan Ridge and trimmed all the trees so that, because of our vehicle to get through without getting damaged. Could you do that again? I mean, all the trees, our side, Gary's side, all of them around the cul-de-sac need to be looked at. Is that something that you guys do normally or not? Or is there specifications that need to be met? Because we just want it to be done, and so everybody knows what it's supposed to be, and I know 4 years ago, you guys did it for us, but.
Are you someplace other than Hidden Valley with her?
What is?
She's not in Hidden Valley, right?
No.
No, she lives up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On Dan Ridge. It's called Dan Ridge. It's,
Yeah, because I remember one time they told us that the branches had to be back so far from the edge of the road.
Yeah, you guys, Hidden Valley's got a lot of encroachment.
So I didn't know how that worked, so I just needed some direction from you guys on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the guys do that.
do you guys think you can do that, Rich?
Yeah, they can, but I wonder if we go around and find a Maybe we should just take a drive around and see how much is the whole development to trim trees, and if it's a lot, then we can hire it done. You know?
The other-
I do mine myself.
Well, and you know, and
Thank you.
we do ours ourselves too, but it's just one of those things you just, you know, we maintain the whole area and it's not always open. The other thing is yesterday I almost got toasted. They're right by the mail, I pulled in by our mailbox, and this is on the township road. There's a shrub there that's now blocking the view from the easement road. And somebody came down that easement a little too fast, cut the corner and just about toasted me getting my mail. And it's because it's a blind spot, you can't see. And so I don't know if that's something that can be at least looked at when you go out and drive around, look at it and see. Cause it was dangerous yesterday, and it wasn't, I mean, it was a younger kid, I know, but it's not the first time that's happened.
Somebody took out our mailboxes, 3 mailboxes together on a couple of posts. She looked down, her cell phone dropped on the floor, so she looked down to get her cell phone. Then she went off the road and took out the mailboxes completely, just sheared off the posts that held up, and these 4x4 posts holding them up.
Damaged the car.
And the neighbor across the road had somebody that does that kind of work. Had him over there the next day, and he replaced the whole thing the next day. We bought new mailboxes because they were all squashed.
We'll get your phone
But-
number.
Pardon, my phone number?
Yeah, we'll get your phone number.
Okay.
Just give it.
Is it the one that's over there by 26th Street? Is that the one that you're talking about, or is it down?
Yeah, it is actually, if you go up to just where, so that's a tree right there.
Yeah.
But if you go up, it's not, you can't really see it there. No, it's right there as you go to the easement to the left.
Okay.
You're
Right on the corner.
right on the corner. It doesn't look like it there on that picture
Okay.
right now, but right up on that corner, the mailboxes are underneath that tree. And
Can you go to 2D on that, out of the 3D, can you go to 2D?
I don't know.
that's just where it's located at. And if you
No,
just
it'd be
take a
on your
look at it,
What's that?
because it isn't the township side, not on the county side. But that's,
Yeah,
if you could just take a peek at it, that would be, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when it's in full bloom right now, you,
Oh, so it's this one.
yeah, it's right there. And right now you can't, from this side, you can't see the blue fire, things. We get 6500 East 26th Street coming to our house frequently. But all I'm asking is just take a look if there's something that can be done or direction on what to do there too. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? We'll move on to paying the bills. Bills for tonight to be paid. Active Construction LLC, $2,346. Shop overhang repairs. Bargain Barn, water truck tire, $154.95. The law firm, $1,781.75. Butler Machine, $7,530.31. CNR Supply for a 2-inch clamp, $6.56. Dustbuster Enterprises, $230,934.60. Equipment blades, $2,016. J&W Diesel, $1,418.53. John Deere Finance, $636.45, air conditioner repair. Trucking firm, $1,503.23. LJ Everts for gravel, $3,206.87. Midwest Oil diesel fuel, $2,725.26. Postman Excavating, $1,370. Stan Houston, $1,000 $89.39. And web service, $450. We have a total bill, $257,169.89. Is there a motion to pay bills?
I make the motion to pay the bills.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Okay,
I need one of you two supervisors to make a motion to go into executive session.
also move, then we go into executive session.
A second.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.